Welcome to The Leaders Who Care, a podcast powered by Dynamis Group. We are here to give the stage and support to those committed to create a positive and lasting impact, way beyond the profits and margins, the leaders of the world who care for others and serve a bigger purpose. Join us on the journey of creating a better, more caring world. And now to your host, Marian Temelkov.
Hello, dear audience. Happy Wednesday. We have the privilege and honor to welcome a great leader, somebody who is deeply passionate about and cares about a space economy, and a tech transfer expert, entrepreneur, and an advisor at the highest level, but also someone who cares about what he does and how he does it. As you know, we're on a mission to bring together some of the most caring leaders from every corner of the world and every sector of the world. So we have the privilege to have the first leader who cares, actually, that's going to talk about a space economy. And I'm really pleased to welcome Anilkumar Dave. Welcome on the Leaders Who Care, and thank you for making the time.
Thank you, Marian. Thanks a lot for the invitation. It's an honor and privilege being here with you.
Thank you for really sharing what you do and all this impact that you've been creating. But would love to hear more about how do you get to what you do first, because we all got inspired by the technologies that are coming out. Maybe personally as a child, I get inspired by the space technologies. It's no longer just movies. We have Elon Musk that is actively working in this. It's serious, and would love to hear your story of how did you end up in what you do.
Well, I will keep the long story short because otherwise it will be too long in telling all the story since the very beginning. But I must say that it's a mix of somehow a professional and a personal story, so a personal background. Because I'm of Indian origin, but I was born and brought up out of India. In particular, I was born in Italy, and then we moved to United States, where I started my school, and then back to India, then to London for a while, and then to Italy. So in this, multicultural environment, let's say, maybe this multicultural environment helped me in seeing things in not a unique perspective or from a unique perspective or unique view, but in different ways. And then I started working on transferring technologies from one application to other domains, to other industries. And I've done this for many sectors, many industries, like ICT, white good industry, fashion, textiles, mining sector, and oil and gas, and so on. So taking technology from one side and bringing it to the other, and taking it to the other on to develop different other applications. And then at a certain point, this let's say challenge came up on making the same thing, the same journey, but for space technologies and space data. And to tell you the truth, I'm one of the 40% of kids, of children who didn't dream to become an astronaut, but my dream was in become a pilot, so flying, but on a lower orbit. So when I was asked about this challenge, so I started on this. It was very fascinating, of course, but it was quite hard. But I would say that maybe having this multi-angle perspective and multi-angle view, and in some cases even the multicultural gift, this was very helpful in seeing things from a different perspective, seeing things from a different way. And this is the same thing that you can apply to technology. Technology is, of course, solving maybe a problem if it is very effective, but the same technology might be used for other purposes, might be used for adjacent industries, might be used for solving other kind of problems. And this is the beauty of technology. So, you remember the ad that power is nothing without control. So the same thing we might say for technology. So technology is nothing without innovation. So technology might be nothing if it's not creating innovation or a great disruptive innovation. And this is what I was doing with space. And maybe in a nutshell, this is also what is a space economy is all about. So it's creating value, uh, social economic impact using space data, space technology, or space asset. And this is, the beauty not only of space, but it's the beauty of technology in general. So yeah, it's a bit a mix up. Of course, there's been a lot of lucky in it. Yes, a lot of difficulties to overcome, but and the journey is not over yet, huh? So it's still continuing. So I'm looking forward maybe for the next challenges. But yeah, in a nutshell, this was maybe how I came to do and to enter this beautiful sector.
You, as I listen to you, a lot of questions come to mind, and immediately I I wanted to, because you talked about the transfers, you talked about those applications, and really the space economy. What, in your experience, looking back, before we look to the future, um, were the those great successes, or those things that you really made a difference? Those transfers in your kind of journey. What are the ones that are not only impactful but also quite memorable?
Well, I would say that basically there are three levels of achievements. I would maybe remember in this my early career memories, the one you are asking. The first is using a technology where maybe a company has invested a lot for one specific purpose, using the same technology, or finding an application of that technology, just thinking out of the box for other sectors and creating new revenue streams, new applications, and new industries or new markets that were not taught when this technology was developed. Um, I cannot tell you that much details because, of course, of the NDA, but I can tell you definitely that maybe some let me tell you something that okay, maybe a specific predictive maintenance modeling that was used for maybe a defense sector that now has been used for home appliances, or for or for agriculture, tractors, maintenance, and so on. So something that is very far from that, the early sector they were thought of, so the defense, but they are used for other kind of purposes, or new materials, membrane, nanomaterials, or coating that are now used for that are started using in heavy industry and are now used to sterilize the medical devices. So applications very very different, where a lot of money has been put on the R&D. So the first achievement is okay, taking a technology from one side and bringing down to another sector. The second achievement is on creating new startups. This is something that it's like when you see a baby, you see the baby growth, and of course every child is different from another. And of course, quoting the African phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. So of course, to have this child that it becomes a young and an adult, you need a lot of things. But it's quite interesting, and one of the greatest thing I've seen is when maybe from a technology it was starting a spillover, or someone that is maybe starting a new company, and this company is bringing benefits to maybe a community, or creating a new value, or providing jobs, and so on. So yes, in my career I've seen some I the privilege to see some of these things happen, like startups coming up from maybe just a low TRL, which is the technology readiness level idea, and then now they are startups and they are doing very well. Maybe the only regret is that I didn't invest in that, but I'm happy for the team. The third achievement is about people. Um, in my humble, let's say, career, One of the things I've learned so far is that organizations are made of people. So no way you can, of course, force organizations to collaborate, but if the people, there is no chemistry between the people, organizations collaborations might be, slower than expected. And this achievement about the people is something that I really love now when I look back at my, early days, when I was, a young consultant, just came back from US and started working as an IT consultant in Europe, between Europe and India. And I was really very much looking for mentors or someone who could guide me and give me the suggestion. So now looking at the past, maybe the young people that work with me and now are in some very nice or high level positions, this is also a matter of proud, because you also made people growth. And when definitely is a give back you also can give in having people that gain confidence in themselves, that learn how to work together and learn with good values. This is also one of the great outcomes and achievements I can, of course, try to bring day by day.
I love that topic very much because we know that people are the quality of our relationships. So I think there was a statistic that said they define the longevity of our life. How can we take care of those relationships? What is your kind of advice that you can give to young people when it comes down to people's relationships and how to take care of others?
Well, I cannot give a specific advice, because every human being is different. What I can maybe report here is my personal experience. So definitely be humble. So we are, almost 6 billions in the world, and by any statistic mean, there is always someone who is better than you. So be humble. You every day, every time, every chance, you might learn something. So you will not be the teacher of all. So the first is be humble. The second one is somehow try to be fearless. um, you know like if you want to pose a question, there are no bad questions, there are only unclear answers. So sometimes people say that I cannot pose a question to this big person or to this vip, because he or she will never answer me. It's not that, that thing. So be fearless, of course, in an educated way always. But we are all born from for network and do things. Last but not least, maybe, is the things that I always remember myself. And oh yes, I have the mentor here. Is this sentence I always tell myself that, hey, the force is being with you, young Skywalker, but you are not a Jedi yet. So this is definitely, what you always have to remember. We are not arrived yet, and this is what I always tell myself. I'm not arrived yet. I have a lot of things to do yet. So keep going.
This is really inspiration. And when you talk about humility, it opens so many doors. It's really people will respect you and will give their time and will and it's actually this is one of the core qualities that I look at in leadership or leaders who care, and that's so important. So thank you for sharing that. And you talk about some of those. Never to settle, right? In other words, you taking away that complacency or focusing on really to continuously grow until you hear, because that will striving for excellency, that's what you're focusing on, and helping others to really go on and never to be intimidated by someone who is smarter, but on the contrary, ask those questions, find out more, what makes them tick, how do they get there, that curiosity, that spirit. So thank you for
Yeah.
really sharing. That's from those fundamentals that have made a profound difference for you. And look at you, you've obviously made such an impact in so many different ways. And but also it's important to look at your joy. What gives you joy? What are the things that gives you joy and fulfillment on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, well, let's say from the professional point of view, because you always have to try and in this I must admit I'm not that good in having a good work-life balance. I'm not that good in that because I should, I always tell myself that okay, now you stop working, go out for jogging or relax, read something and do something. But the problem is that even if I go out to have a maybe to run, while running I even think about work, or when I read something I try to read something that might be related to work. So in that I'm not very very good. But coming back to your question, so what is satisfying me every day, I have every day a little post-it, and I write all the, this is a sort of a to-do list for the day. So the satisfaction is if at the end of the day I have canceled some of the points of the to-do list. If I canceled all, so I'm very much satisfied. Means that hey, I've done something today. Otherwise, I'm trying to have most of the things canceled and with flagged with done, 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 and that's maybe something from the professional side that is satisfying me. So because every day, every single day is of value, and at least this is my personal opinion. I need to be happy that I have done something on this day. So today I've done this. Okay, at the end of the day I'm like okay, it was not a waste day. The other thing is, and this is not happening every day, of course, but when you have words of appreciation, that's also another thing. So it's like someone is evaluating what you are doing. um, when I'm speaking with my colleagues, or when I was in the agency, I was I had a team of almost 10, and every time we were doing our periodical meetings and so on. But the main part was on giving them the right appreciation. Of course, if something was not going well, giving them also the feedback, but giving also them the appreciation where something was working. And this is something that normally we tend to to forget. Oh, it's like you are doing your job, you are paid for that, so it's your job, you have to do that. No, if you are doing something well, you deserve compliments and congratulations. Of course, if something is not that well, okay, you deserve some suggestion to make it better, and not maybe some bad words because you made a mistake. Also because a well-known person, so I'm talking about failure, but a well-known person said that oh, I have him here. I don't know if you can see him. So he said that failure is success in progress. So even this, even if it is a failure, but if you give words of not only appreciation but words of advice, this is also something that is helpful. So at the end of the day, if there is someone who is giving me feedback, positive or negative, is always something that I appreciate, because either is a word of appreciation, or otherwise is a suggestion to make things better.
This is really, thank you for sharing that and talking about what have made a difference in your journey. It's really very helpful. Now, looking at where you are today and looking towards the future, what sets your heart on fire these days in terms of technology innovations? In other words, what are the potential of the space technologies and how they can be beneficial for the world, and how we can take better care of our future?
Well, telling the truth, Marian, let me tell this. When we started this interesting conversation, I told you about the beauty of space. But I'm more and more getting convinced that we need to talk about the beauty of technology. There is plenty of technology around, a lot of solutions or technologies searching for a problem, and on the other way around, there's a lot of technologies that has already been squeezed out by IP or patents or industries, and is just there and ready maybe to be available for who might be in need of practical solutions. So uh, more and more what I think is that yes, we might have this rush to develop new technologies, like now the buzzword is AI, the quantum computing, a lot of fancy and sexy things. Needless to say, that space technologies, of course, the long duration mission. So we are going now to the moon and then to the Mars, to Mars. We want to to study how to do long duration missions, a 6 months journey. We are building new commercial space stations in low Earth orbit. We gonna build a cislunar station. So a lot of things that are posing new and unknown challenges ahead. But what I personally think is that we have a lot of space technologies, of course, but also a lot of technologies in general that can be used to solve real problem we have now. I'm thinking about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. Um, Try to think that. Let me just make you an example. Um, Try to think about one of the SDGs, which is the SDG 6, water. If you look at the new concept, which is the nexus concept, so it's not one single SDG, but it's just a group of SDGs together. So if you look at SDG 6, so water is bringing together, food is bringing together, of course, the sea and oceans and so on. So there are plenty of technologies. If you consider, for instance, filtering technologies, new materials, Earth observation data, new sensors, biodegradable materials, and so on. A lot of new technologies that, if put together, they can solve a lot of problems for LDC, so the least developed countries, but also for emerging countries, and solve problems that are big, huge problems in some parts of the world, like getting drinkable water, sanitation technologies, and so on. So we have the technology. The beauty of space, or the beauty of technology, is not maybe the technology per se, but is the beauty of their new applications. So maybe this is what I see as the real and next future. Also because this is quite a conventional sentence that everybody in space is saying, is that we don't have a planet B, and this is the only starship we have. True, very true. But the thing is that we might have the technology to solve some of the problems. We only need maybe not money, because we have plenty of money around, but we need to focus on how to use those technology to solve the real problems we have on Earth, to preserve this beautiful starship.
Oh, thank you for that. And you mentioned about these key applications, and absolutely that is a great way to look at those transfer. And I'm hearing, like you, AI, quantum computing, CERN in Switzerland, that all this really research and innovation. I think really we should already deploy a lot of those, and as we're trying to do that. What do you think, looking from what we have, is it that we need a lot more innovations, do you think, or is it that we need to deploy what we have, or is it combination of both? Where, just trying to, because a lot of people are continuously thinking, and there's all these computers, and for example, if we take one example of the quantum computer, right? What does it mean for the day-to-day life of having such a thing? how does that affect us? Because those technology needs to be translated to, well, if we have that, that's what it means for the clean water is clear. I will be able to drink water. I think this is really, I'm thinking for more developed really parts of the world, what is it that we need? Is it more joy, more going backwards to the old ways, or do we need more innovations?
Well, this is a great question, and you're putting me in difficulty because answering this question is not that easy. Um, well, this is my very personal opinion. I don't think we need so far brand new technology, because we have plenty of technology that has been already developed. It might be, the underground legend, like the electric engine has been there for, almost a decade, but the patents and so on, but nobody took it out because of, economic reasons. So it might be some underground legend like this, or it might be like we have so many new technologies in the shelf that in the drawer, sorry, that we need to take advantage of the technology that is already there, instead of moving, to the new version. So we already know how to do 6G or 7G. Some prototypes are there, but we have not taken, the money back from the 5G investment. So we need to stick there and then move on. So maybe, in my personal opinion, again, it's not a matter of inventing a new technology. Yes, of course, man is made to, to explore and to invent. So science is something, and this is the beauty of science. Science is something that you cannot, stop. Is a driven curiosity, very much. So, okay, definitely we have to go and move forward with the innovation and the research. But from the technology point of view, we have plenty of technology that is still underused. And this is maybe the new challenge. So using the most the technology we have, maybe not standalone, but combined, and try to see if there are new applications coming up. So everybody, all the innovation and the innovation management courses, they always mention what Steve Jobs now has made with Apple. So he didn't invent a specific technology. Technology was there. He used the technology already there in a different way. And this is also maybe, one of the great things we might do now. So have the technology is there. We might not be in need of inventing a new technology for the next, short period, but we need to integrate technologies in a way of developing and producing new applications. So yes, this is basically in my again my personal opinion.
Thank you for sharing. And what I'm thinking here is, what are the threats of those new technologies? Or if you look at maybe even ChatGPT 3, because what I'm really concerned about is there are people behind those technologies. And what is very important often is to look at not just the technology as well, but actually what are the philosophies of the person who invented that technology, and why was it invented? What was the values and inspiration behind that? Because if it was designed just to, normally most of them should solve some problem, but they might be designed in a way that based on certain beliefs that could actually make the problem worse. I mean, can give you a number of examples of what it is when you apply with software, like we've seen with Amazon, right? Technology was designed, AI, to look at really certain amount of certain types of people, but that meant a lot of people were excluded from, and the diversity was affected. So you could actually optimize it to deliver what it needs to, but it actually could may not be so good for humanity. So this is why I'm just thinking of how does, what are the drives and motives of the inventors, because that's really important later on.
Well, there's plenty of science fiction movies, that were treating also this kind of threat. So it's like, you name it, there are plenty of, from the Matrix, Terminator, and so on. I'm quoting just the one of my generation. Years back, I'm pretty sure that there are many others, very recent ones. So there are a lot of movies that were trying to address this potential risk. You're right. We are developing AI. Now we are talking about AI because I should say that in the back it was more machine learning. So it was more ML, coding or ML algorithms. Now, because the infrastructure, the computation power has increased, as well as, again, the microprocessors and all the infrastructure is now definitely more advanced than even 5 years ago. So now we can also talk about AI and so on. But you are perfectly right. I fully agree with you. When you program, or when you write the code of an AI, definitely you write it with the belief, or with the thought of the programmers. And it's very difficult and this, we are entering in a bit philosophical part of the conversation. Is very difficult seeing what is right and what is wrong. At the same time, the risk is that, okay, I will not take that process. I will ask someone else to take the process, but at the same time I'm continuing going on with the coding and with that. So that's is a matter of course, there's a matter of risk. And in my opinion, technology is good if it is simplifying, if it is helping, if it is supportive, if it is making life easy. But not if we are delegating to technology decisions that has to be taken by humans. Anyhow, we have not been able to simulate the brain, how the brain works, and all. It's still, we are using still less than 10% of the brain power we have. And definitely this is not something that is something we can make it artificial. So intelligence, human brain, the engine where this intelligence is coming from, is still unknown to us. So how we can replicate something that is still unknown?
What do you think of this enhanced brain chip that Elon
Like the
Musk,
Neuralink.
Neuralink, yeah, that is
Oh,
being
well,
developed?
now the guy, that guy, the one who is who is going to space, wants to go to Mars, is driving electric cars, and so on, has been disruptive since the very beginning of his professional career. So disrupting means also raising the bar, and then let's see if someone is reaching the bar or the bar is too high. So definitely having this neural link or a brain chip is definitely raising a bar. We'll see if someone will reach that bar, even him, or the company or other companies. But definitely, raising the bar, he said that, listen, there might be a way of supporting the brain, and making it more efficient, or preventing diseases. But again, we don't know if the final outcome is making the brain smarter and faster, though we know only, as I said before, only 10% of what the brain capacities are. So it might be a bit difficult, but definitely the fallout of that technology, and again the technology transfer we can provide to using that technology, is incredible. Think about the rehabilitation purposes. Think about what we might do for people who cannot maybe use part of their nerves or senses, and they might have some again some recalibration of that. So that kind of thing is definitely, of interest. Controlling someone starting from, a chip brain. We are also entering some ethical issues, I
Yeah.
should. So it's maybe not, but definitely he raised the bar, and when the bar is higher than the normal, everybody tries to
I
uh, to
I
get
hope
jumped.
that while you, if someone having this chip, you can probably watch movies without even standing up. Or you could, yeah, you could be like having lots of knowledge, automatically. But then, pretty much, if they decide to put an advert, you can't stop it. So imagine the dangers that this may have. It's like. What about the subscription model? Suddenly the subscription gone up, and
Yeah,
you're heavily dependent on that technology. So I'm just really, I see. I mean, of course, that's the joke. Is I'm sure there's a lot of great applications, but I think we just need to, as humans, we also have that side of us that often may want to control others, may want to take advantage of others, may just and I think this is where I think we need to be really mindful and. Are we
well, you know what, Marian? I fully agree again with you. But if you think also at the potential side applications, so this is maybe, let me give you an example. So we are now thinking that, okay, how we can grow medicines, manufacture, sorry, medicines in space for the long duration mission. How we can, produce food, growth food, horticulture in long duration missions for 6 months in a harsh environment with less water, less oxygen, and so on. So all these technologies or this capacity we are studying now for that missions, try to imagine how you can maybe use in areas where water is a, is a rare element, where you can maybe cultivate something with low energy consumption, with low soil consumption, with low, water consumption, but you can feed people, you can support, of course, those kind of countries. Vice versa, or vis-a-vis, try to imagine if you maybe develop a sort of little chip brain or a lab on chip that can, stand on the brain. You can maybe have a very precise lab on chip or drug delivery system to fight the glioblastoma. That is, so far, is one of the, the worst brain cancer we know. And the difficulty is not in, the because you cannot do chemotherapy, for instance. The difficulty is not on what kind of medicine to use, but where and how to have the very precision medicine drop, and so on. So the drug delivery system. So if we take bite of these technologies and we try to apply to other sectors or for other applications, that's the real added value of doing things. We might not go to Mars by 2030. Okay, is something that everybody is now more or less agreeing on. But the technologies we are developing so far might be of great help on Earth. The same thing. So the brain chip, maybe because of many reasons, might not be there, but maybe part of the technologies we are developing for that might be useful for other purposes.
That's a great way to look at it, and that's why I wanted to ask you your personal hopes and what would you like to see, for the future generations. What are your hopes for a brighter, more caring future?
Okay. Well, this is easier than the question you might, pose on what is the future for me. So what I look for me, because I still can't answer the question what I want to do when I will grow up. So for the future generation, well, definitely, this generation, the generation Z, no, even not the Gen Z. Now we are talking about the generation Alpha. So this
Yes.
generation Alpha is very much different from us, from me and you, and from maybe, the audience today. is very difficult because if you look at now, this is a generation that they are naturally digitally born, so they are naturally space born, because since their birth they know that there is an object called ISS, International Space Station, that is flying 400 kilometers on their head at 27,000 kilometers per hour, and is the largest, laboratory human outpost. And naturally they are thinking of building another commercial space station, or more than one. They are naturally thinking of, okay, maybe during our lifetime, so their lifetime, we'll reach Mars. We'll definitely see the first man and the first woman on the moon, and not just to have a footprint and then come back, but to stay there. So they are very much open also to a new and a diverse world, a multicultural. They definitely travel more than me and you.
Yeah.
They have, definitely more friends than me and you. Okay, maybe our friends were, we were hanging out, we were shaking hands, we were playing football and so on, and they maybe with their friends they post on social media, they play on video games. Maybe it's a bit different, but definitely their reach is larger
Horizon and parameter is much
yeah, yeah.
larger.
So of course they have some weaknesses, but they're very different. So this new generation, the expectation that my expectation for this new generation is that definitely they can encompass the same values that we have, or that we had. So the value that are keeping, of course, peace and stability in the world, but definitely the value, and this is something I look also in youngsters now, that they are now realizing more than us maybe, that this is the sole and unique starship they have. So they are more concerned about sustainability, about energy consumption, and so on. So I'm maybe a bit sad in saying that they are more concerned about the future of the planet than we are, because the responsibility is ours. We are the ones who are leaving the planet for
Yeah.
them, but seems that they are more concerned on that. So yes, I wish them, to have all this and to use all this gift they have, digital technology and everything, uh, to invent maybe new ways of using technologies, as we said before, to save the planet, to keep their happiness, because that's one of the most important thing, to keep peace. This is things that we issues that we know very well in this period, in these times. And yes, keeping also the curiosity, that's another important thing. Curiosity, again, our generation will remember that band. It was an English band, if I'm not wrong. Curiosity Killed the Cat. Yes, in this case, curiosity will definitely save the cat, because they need to be curious in how technology can support them and how technology can help saving the planet.
What a fantastic wish for the future generation. So,
Not for the cat.
no, well, for the cat too, because you saved the cat.
Yes.
It's no, thank you. Well, wonderful. Really, we look forward to the future and brighter future with Generation Alpha coming up. But also, we need to do a lot more today to prepare for Gen Z and Gen Z for Alpha. So, really interconnected to make the world a better place and use the technology transfer innovations for more caring and better world. What a great way to finish. And thank you so much for spending your time, the work you do.
Thank
And
you.
we wish you more endeavors that sets your heart on fire and that solve problems that you're deeply passionate about.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
happy space technology to all of you.
Thank you so much, Anil. Thank you.
Bye.
Blessings to you and your
Thank
team
you.
and the
Thank you.
family.